Well, there's that song. I recognize that. That means it's time for me to get out of bed and get dressed, take a shower, and face my career. My name's Mischke. Time to make a living. Time to be the man my mama hoped I would be when I was a little infant. She said, I hope you grow to be, whatever those things are that talk into a microphone and say stuff. I said, I will be that, Mama. I'll be a guy who talks in a microphone and says stuff. All right, what I thought we'd do this time around is go way back to the old KSTP radio days. There's something I've wanted to play for you, and it's my favorite memory from my years on the radio. Yes, I actually have a favorite memory, a series of conversations with a man named Al, now deceased, sadly. One of the things I loved to do when I was on the radio is look down and see that light flashing that told me someone was calling the program. Now, the studio engineer and technical director was always on the other side of this thermopane glass, and he would normally answer those calls, but every now and then he had to use the bathroom. So I'd see the phone ringing, the light blinking, and I'd say to myself, I can take that call. I can take it live on the air. The person rarely expected a guy on the air to answer. And sometimes the call wasn't even for the radio station. It was someone trying to call the TV station one floor below. Those were my favorite calls, because I could, goof on them. So this one night on the air, many years ago, I was starting an ad. It was the ad portion of the program, and I was starting an ad, and my eyes looked down and saw the flashing red light, and I thought, by golly, the board operator isn't there. He's using the bathroom. I'm going to stop this ad right now and take this call. And all I did was just hit the button and say, yeah? That was it. And what that started was something that I delighted in for several days. What started was a series of calls, a series of conversations with a man named Al. The conversations would end maybe because there was need for a commercial break, or maybe we'd come to the top of the hour and the calls would have to end, or maybe we'd come to the end of the show and the calls would have to end. But I'd always start them up again. I'd always call him back. He never knew we were on the air. You see, his original call was a call looking for Dave Dahl, the dean of Twin Cities meteorologists, the big-time weatherman, one floor below me with KSTP television. Well, I wasn't going to let that stop me from talking to the fella. He wanted a weather guy. I was going to be the second banana weather guy, the poor man's weather guy. I wasn't Dave Dahl. I wasn't the top meteorologist, but I also had weather skills and weather tasks and had a position at KSTP. My name was Blow Zephyr. Now, all this came to me on the spot because I wanted to keep Al happy and keep him talking to me. And we just rolled with these conversations, all improvisational, all experimental. I didn't know where all I could go with Al, how far I could push things, what kind of fun I could have on this playground with him. But I will say this. He was a lonely insurance man, recently divorced, and I think he just enjoyed the time conversing with me so much that he didn't spend a lot of time analyzing the absurdity of much of what we were talking about. What I wanted to do with this show was give you a little bit of Al. My favorite thing about Al was he loved talking about tornadoes. He had been in his life in front of tornadoes on several occasions and had this great theory about what one does when confronted with a tornado. One simply steps out of the way and lets it pass. He would hear these anxious meteorologists on KSTP talking, and he'd think, don't these people know that all one has to do with a tornado is step out of the way? Why is everybody getting so riled? He felt he had insight from his experiences with tornadoes over the years. Just step out of the way, said Al. I loved that. I loved all my conversations with Al, all the different places we went. Ultimately, after a few days of calls, one night on the air, I revealed to him that I wasn't Blow Zephyr, a weather guy at KSTP. I was T.D. Mischke, the night talk show host. Well, he already knew about T.D. Mischke. In fact, he often listened to T.D. Mischke, but somehow he didn't get that my voice and Blow Zephyr's voice were the same. Al lived alone, liked his beer, but was clearly a lonely guy, and a guy who, late at night, liked having someone to talk to as he drank his beer and occasionally ran off to use the bathroom. I became his pal for a while, even though I was pretending to be someone I was not. I will say that long after the whole ruse was exposed, Al continued to call the show for another year or more, and we delighted in our conversations, even as T.D. Mischke and Al. It was a great thing that he kept calling, and we'd talk about life, and we'd talk about all sorts of things. And then, sadly, at the age of 56, he died of a heart attack. But these early sessions, when I first meet Al, because of this phone call where he's trying to get a hold of a TV weatherman, that's my favorite time with him. When we first meet, and I become Blow Zephyr. Yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry to bother you. I just was trying to get a hold of the weather line.
Oh, this is the weather line.
This is the weather line?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was just going to make a comment about our weather.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm in Maple Grove. I went through 4 tornadoes. These people are all upset about tornadoes. All you have to do is just take a step and get out of the way.
That's what I tell the families of those who've lost loved ones. Couldn't they move their fat asses?
Well, I tell you, we were in Maple Grove. We had 4 on the old farm. After the last one, my old man, who had some acreage out there in Maple Grove, the last tornado went through and knocked down a whole bunch of trees on the east side of his property. So he decided, hey, that's a great place to build a house. So he did. And in 1965, another tornado came through. Your father wasn't a Rhodes Scholar, was he? Well, no, I thought it was a great place. It was a beautiful house and everything. Right, but the tornadoes come through, destroy this property, and he says that's a great place to build a house. He builds it right there, right in that path. Yeah, but see, this is kind of in that corridor. I don't know. Clearly it was in the corridor used by tornadoes, and another one came along and wiped out your father's home. The first time when I was 4 years old, I can remember the first tornado hitting a corn crib that we had just put up that Sunday afternoon, and that was gone. Then I can remember the second one, which knocked down a barn, and then I can remember the third one that knocked down the trees. My Uncle Ned was killed in a tornado. Are you kidding? He was a quadriplegic from World War II. Uh-huh. And you don't mind me talking to you. Do you get a minute? No, I'm just saying that he was out in the field. Here, let me turn off. I'm going to turn the TV off here. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. He was out in the field. His wife had rolled him out there. Uh-huh. And then she had doubled back to hang some laundry. Mm-hmm. And the storm came up pretty quickly. And, of course, there's a guy again who ordinarily would have taken a step to the right or left, but couldn't. Wanted to badly. Was asking for his wife, but she couldn't hear. The wind was going the wrong direction. Uh-huh. And the next thing she saw were a couple of wheels from the wheelchair flying by her head. And really? There was old Ned in a cottonwood. Holy cow. He didn't make it. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. These tornado things are so interesting to me because, they have tornado chasers. And
I often say, because we get people calling all the time saying they want to be tornado chasers, and I say the same thing to every one of them. What are you going to do when you catch them? And 3 out of 4 of them will understand and say, by God, you're right. What are we, mad? And they'll go back to drilling holes in sheet metal or whatever they do for a living. But one guy will actually say, I'm going to net the SOB.
well, I'm not afraid of them. See, a lot of people, when they see something like that coming, they panic. All you got to do is just get out of the way.
Similar to what happens on a freeway when a car's coming.
It's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Are you the weather guy there for?
I'm the weather guy in the evenings, of course.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. My name is Al.
Okay.
And God, I love talking to you because this stuff really means a lot to me. Because you get to laugh and talk about this stuff. I saw this commercial. I don't know if it was on your channel or not, where this guy is looking at the tornado, and then he's got another one coming, and he's just trying to get out of the way. I'm thinking, like, hey, get in your car and just get out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way. How many times have we at Channel 5 said to people, what happened? Couldn't you get out of the way? And, of course, they can't answer. They're gone.
One of the really interesting things is, actually, we went through 5 of them. We went through one the next year in '66 that went through Maple Grove.
Weren't there 6, actually? 6 altogether?
From what, if I remember correctly.
I think 6. I think it was 6.
I think it was 6.
Yep.
And I'm not BSing you. Hell, I'm telling you the truth here.
Right.
I went, like, going through this stuff. But, it's all so interesting to see this stuff. Again, this is just weather. We're people. Just get out of the way.
Do you ever wonder, though, as we do here in the office, when you see these things, these magnificent beasts coming across a field, do you ever wonder if they might have some kind of consciousness?
I don't know. I'm really not sure.
I've detected, and again, this is over the years, personality types in some of these tornadoes.
Well, you've got the craziest different types of tornadoes. The last one I saw in person was about 15 years ago through Brooklyn Park, and it's the one where you guys, I think it was you guys in the helicopter.
That was us. That was us, and we ended up winning quite a few awards, and I believe Channel 11 ended up stealing those.
You guys are driving around in a helicopter up there, and I'm thinking, what in the hell? You got currents and things like that,
And because of the great fortune of getting the footage that ended up being purchased by National Geographic, 1 year later, our helicopter pilot went up again for another tornado, and that time he tried to get a little too close.
What, did he die or something?
He was found 14 miles east of where the tornado hit him, buried under a slew of satellite biffies from a construction site.
Holy cow. They talk about these strange things that happen with the tornadoes and how stuff really is really weird and things. I had a tintype of my great-great-grandfather on the wall the next morning when we went through all this stuff. The frame was still there. The tintype was completely gone,
We had a woman. It took off her bra, left her blouse on.
I believe it.
Yep, took her bra off. And that's what I mean about personality types. You just wonder what's with that tornado.
You're way over my head now. I don't know.
Well, actually, I'm getting a call now that we're going to go to a news update, so I have to wrap up with you. Call again sometime.
Well, you want to call me back? Because I got some better stories than this.
Okay, I'll ring you back.
You got my phone number?
I'll put you on hold. You can give it to my secretary.
Thanks.
I've been doing ads for Bradshaw and Bryant for years, the law firm of Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys who can take care of you anytime recklessness and carelessness enters your world. You get injured because some callous soul didn't think, messed up, ruined your day, your week, your month, but not your life. Not with Bradshaw and Bryant. They're not going to let this SOB ruin your life. They're going to get you the financial compensation to make your world whole once again. That's Bradshaw and Bryant. Some people like Batman and Robin. Some people like the Green Hornet and Kato. Some people like Joe Friday and Bill Gannon. I like Bradshaw and Bryant. Keep their number on your refrigerator, in your wallet. Tattoo it on your po-po, people. That's what I did. I tattooed MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com on my po-po. They chose a memory care facility for their mother, close to home. But great convenience doesn't always mean great care, and they learned that lesson, and they came to the Welshire. At the Welshire Residential Memory Care Center in Bloomington and Medina, families arrive after they've tried somewhere else, somewhere that promised support but couldn't match the complexity of what memory loss demands. 4 stages of memory loss, 4 levels of care at the Welshire, all delivered by people who know that memory isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. The Welshire is designed for their lives, for meaningful moments, for dignity, for the small joys that matter every day. Welshire, remember the name, residential memory care, the place families turn to when they realize good enough often isn't.
Hello.
Hi, Al. It's Blow calling from the weather room.
Oh, hey, listen. Hey, I'm glad you called me back. These things that happen in tornadoes, and they talk about this odd stuff that happens, it really does happen.
Well, I told you I've witnessed it here. The woman who works the front desk, who lives in Blaine and had the experience of it, removing her bra and leaving her blouse on.
Now that's a stretch, but I'll believe you.
Well,
hey,
if
listen,
you saw her, you'd realize what a stretch.
No, but I believe it. I believe it. I wouldn't doubt that in a second. We had a lake that was south of us called Eagle Lake. It's out in Maple Grove, and it probably was a half a mile away. And after that, next morning, we found fishes in our front yard. We found fishes in our house.
Well, no.
That's true story.
I'm having trouble believing that.
No, absolutely. You know what it did? It went over the lake, sucked up the water, and deposited it in the front yard. And that's an absolutely true story, no question about it.
I didn't have any trouble getting people to believe the bra story, but I think if I pass along the story you're telling me right now, they'll laugh me right out of the weather room.
You got to be kidding. Well, that bra story is the craziest thing. That's much better than the fish story. What they do is they'll go through the water, pick up minor fish, and, we were just lucky to live because when that thing hit the house, the new house, which was the 4th house.
The 4th house was destroyed by a tornado. In these 7 tornadoes you witnessed...
No, I only had 4. You told me there were 6.
Oh, you had said 5.
No, I said 4.
Actually, you changed it to 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I was just going along with what you said, I guess.
Okay, well, I actually said 6, and then you went along with that, but you had said 5.
Now, how did you get... Where did the other 2 come from?
Well, the direction all tornadoes come from. Don't they all come from the same place?
The southeast or
southwest, or they're all from Dixie anyway.
Uh-huh. But anyway, again, I'm not...
in the old days, the tornadoes, and I'm not joking here, but obviously if you buy the fish story, you won't find this that hard to believe.
I'm not buying the fish story. I know it.
I mean, obviously you're comfortable with that, so this won't surprise you. The old days, the tornadoes used to bring up slaves from down south.
What?
Would bring up slaves.
Really? The fish thing, and they weren't big fish. They were just minnows and stuff that got sucked out of the lake when the tornado went over Eagle Lake. And they just went over the house and they deposited things on the house, Mm-hmm. And that's all it was. It wasn't like, hell, we don't have any, 12-pound northerns or anything like that.
Imagine this situation, though, if you will. You're down south. Tornado Alley goes all the way down to the panhandle of Texas. Now, you're down there. You're in slave country.
Right.
Now, you have a tornado coming, and you are owned by a man sure as a dog or cattle are owned, and you have this one out.
Mm-hmm.
You know this tornado could do you in, but you also know it could be your ticket to freedom. What do you do?
Boy, I tell you what, you got a good question there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what.
There are some, obviously, who went for it and died. I'm not saying they were all sent north, but you realize that tornadoes, because of the way they move, can pick things up gently and drop them down gently.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And what I'm saying is, in some of these cases, that's exactly what happened to some of these slaves.
Well, you're preaching to the choir on this one, because I know this. I can remember the one that went through our newer house, which was built in, where they put the house up after the other tornado knocked it down, and you look out the window, and people don't understand this. It does turn green. Have you ever asked anybody about that?
I've seen it turn green. And you know what that color is? The Greeks, I think, were the first ones to learn that green is the color of death.
Well, I tell you what, this was green, and it came in just like a freight train. And I'm not kidding.
What's the first color you turn when you die? Have you seen a dead man? Green.
Oh, that's true.
Which is why...
hey, listen, I love talking to you. I hope you don't mind me calling you again.
Oh, no, call anytime.
You're a piece of cake. I tell you what, this is the most interesting subject that I ever get to talk about is these tornadoes.
Tell you something my daddy told me one time. He said one day down the line, they're going to harness the energy of these tornadoes. They're going to figure out how to reproduce them in the laboratory, and people are going to have these in their yards. I mean the way people have pets today.
My feeling is, and I'm not an expert on this, but geez, think of all the electricity you can generate out of those things.
Well, I think what he was sensing is what I was speaking of earlier, and that's the notion that people get attached to these things not simply because of their power, but because of the personality they sense.
Oh, absolutely. This is where I'm at this. See, they don't frighten me. They really don't.
I'll tell you something. I tell you something I've been advocating for a long time. You know about naming hurricanes? You see this all the time out east. They'll name a hurricane Dave, or they'll name a hurricane Doug. What's the big deal here in the Midwest with leaving these tornadoes, which clearly have personalities, without a name? If we name them, think of how much easier it'd be for you to discuss this right now by saying, do you recall Stacy?
Oh, absolutely.
Or Craig? Well,
but one thing, see, all tornadoes are different, and I think I'm sure you know this. You're the weatherman. You got a tornado that's like 4 miles wide, or you got a tornado that's like 22 feet wide.
It's not size, though. We dwell on size too much in this country.
Oh, okay.
It's can it get the job done? Just like my daddy. He was injured in the groin in World War II and used to make a similar argument.
Okay. Can you hold on just for 1
Sure.
second? Thanks. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
My fault. Listen, I'll tell you what. This is the best conversation I've had in years. Let me ask you a fast one here. What's the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane?
One occurs on one side of the equator and one on the other. That's the only difference.
Really?
One swirls counterclockwise, one swirls clockwise. And that's it.
Oh, okay. Say, just out of curiosity, I hope you don't mind me bugging you here.
No problem.
I got a great thought. Have you ever thought about the fact that where we live, it's all relative? I used to think, like, when I was a little kid, God, if we went to the South Pole, I'm going to fall off.
That's actually common with many people, not just when they're younger, but even with adults in America today. While they've accepted that the earth is round, they've also somehow gotten it in their head that at least on the poles, there's an ability to step off into some great abyss.
Well, the whole thing is all relative anyway, and I the South Pole, that could have been the North Pole if somebody would have just said, hey, that's the North Pole.
I often have thought, why did God make the North Pole to the north?
But that's the whole thing. It's all relative. Here's this planet going around. Does that mean that we're up north?
And yet, when I think about it, I feel like I'm up north. Don't you right now?
I do. Yeah. Of course.
And I think God knew that. I think God knew we would feel northernly.
Well, that's probably true. I'm definitely I'm a God believer. I don't go to church, but I'm a definitely spiritual person.
I don't go to church either because I feel that this weather room is church. Because what, after all, are we dealing with here but the work of the Almighty, day in and day out?
Oh, absolutely. And I pray you pray to the man, and he's up there, and I know he's there, and that's the way I feel anyway.
There was a miracle that occurred in Kansas one time, 1934.
What was that now?
Tornado coming across a prairie.
You're really good on these tornadoes.
We've read quite a bit and had to study to keep up in order to maintain our license here. We get tested by the FCC.
Oh, okay.
There was a tornado coming across Kansas back in the 30s.
Okay.
And it was heading right for a farm. In that farm were 7 people being held hostage by Machine Gun Kelly, famous gangster.
Okay. Sure.
From the 30s.
Oh, I remember that. I don't remember that situation, but I remember Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, he hauled him out front into the field, and this tornado was coming right at him.
Really?
And one of the members of this family prayed to God to split that tornado in 2, that they might live.
Really?
Machine Gun Kelly, as that thing was coming, he took off running. Of course, he went in the wrong direction. He went in a direction where the thing was sure to catch up. But as it came up to the family, it in fact split in 2. Went around them, similar to the miracle of the Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea. That family was spared, and it came back together right on Machine Gun Kelly, and that was the end of that gangster.
Really? That's a fantastic story, and I believe you, too.
It's similar to your loaves and fishes story with the fish, wasn't it? What was your story of where the loaves and fishes were brought to your lawn?
It wasn't the loaves and fishes. It was just the fishes.
Well, the loaves were probably on another guy's lawn.
They just went across the lake, picked up the water, dropped the water, and the little fishes and things were just popping around. And that's true. I can even document all that for you.
I often think about Noah. Had he been preparing for a tornado instead of a flood, how different things would have been for him.
You know, I don't know, you know, what you feel about Noah. You know, you get the great stories and stuff, and but I believe him. You know, I believe that happened to some degree, no matter what. You know. And, you know, what can you say?
Recent discoveries in archaeology.
God, I'm so glad you're talking to me. Geez, this is fantastic. You're making my day.
Well, recent discoveries in archaeology have determined that what Noah was really dealing with ultimately was a wetlands, what today we would call wetlands.
Okay, no, didn't they find his boat in Mesopotamia somewhere?
Well, they said that was his boat.
Oh, okay.
But it turns out that was built by hoaxsters. It was, in fact, the old facade from, what's the famous seafood restaurant? Red Lobster, I think it was.
You're kidding.
No, it was a facade someone had stolen.
You're kidding. I kind of took that for gospel.
We have natural wetlands now.
Right.
Obviously, we've gotten rid of far too many of them.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm an outdoorsman myself. So.
Noah was an outdoorsman. You know who the first indoorsman was?
Let me take a guess here. Boy, I don't know.
Raymond Cravler was his name. He was the first one. So, how long you been an insurance man? Well, I'm not in insurance right now. I'm right. I did it for like 30 years, and I'm very knowledgeable on it. And not to brag on my own thing. Right now, I'm just I'm looking for another job because I got fired, and I don't mind telling you that I got fired. And the reason I got fired. I'm not that fast on the computer because you got a minute? Yeah, got an hour. Okay. I got sold 4 different times. Obviously, I could tell when you were empathetic with the slave stories earlier that you had experienced something similar. That's why you could appreciate their struggles, their travails. Oh. A lot of white men can't. You too have known slavery. Well, you know, what happened is we had... I know what happened. We all know what happened. In fact, I'd rather not go over the details. You needed a tornado. That's what you needed. And there wasn't one. Or there was one and you were stepping to the left or right. Well, you know, what happened in my job in particular... Did you just have gas right there? Pardon me? Did you just have gas? No. No, what happened in my particular situation... God, I love talking to you. God, you're the best. You really are the best. You know what you would have been good at? You would have been good as a spotter. We hire people periodically to sit out in fields and spot for us. Well, I can do that too. Because obviously you've had some practice.
Well,
And I would love to be on the other end of the line when you called up and said, looks like we got a live one at 11 o'clock.
Well, I don't know.
And I'd say, how do you know, Al? And you'd say, a sunny just slapped against my face at about 90.
Well, that's kind of, when my old man and I when we were little kids out on Eagle Lake.
And isn't it interesting that the two of you were little kids together? A lot of boys don't have that experience with their fathers.
I'm sorry, what's your first name again?
Blow.
Blow. One thing you got to remember, and this is something in fact, I talked to my kid today. You always take care of the little people and the old timers. That's the
right.
key.
That's right.
Because they'll never forget that, and I never forgot that with my old man, and that's why I did that same thing with my kid, and that's why I keep doing it. I keep calling the old timers up, and they all love it, But you got to make them feel good. That's the whole idea, is just make them feel good.
You're the heart and soul of the Upper Midwest.
I don't know.
That is the philosophy that keeps a guy like me living in this part of the country when New York or L.A. calls.
Well, I'm not being self-righteous or anything like that. That's just the way I am, and I don't. If I don't have a dime tomorrow, I'll still do the same thing because that's the way I feel. You know.
And that's why we're a special group here in this part of the country. And while they make fun of us as being citizens of flyover land and simpletons, we show them every time we express the very views you're expressing tonight on this air. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to call you a fellow citizen. I am out of time now. I have to get back to my job, but I hope we can speak again sometime.
Well, again, it's one of those kind of deals where I went down to Missouri not too long ago, and a lady said to me, "Are you talking Canadian?" I'm thinking, like, what the hell is Canadian? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had a lady say that one too many times to me. And
you got
I'm
my
not
phone
saying
number.
she's buried in a bog in northern Minnesota, but I ain't saying she's not.
I don't even ask you about that.
Yeah.
Wait, why don't you give me a call back when you get a chance?
I will do that, Al.
I'll wait for you tonight because I'm
boy.
sitting here.
Okay. All right.
Please do.
All right, Al.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Investments. The very word makes some people break out in a cold sweat, or worse, yawn so profoundly they accidentally invent a new floor in a building. But fear not, because we have Josh Arnold here. More than 40 years, yes, more than 40 years advising people on investments, retirement savings plans, pensions, portfolios, IRAs, 401ks, things that frankly make most mortals want to crawl under the sofa and gnaw on a cushion. God knows I have. But Josh, he's different. He enjoys talking about money. And here's the absurdly generous part. He will give you 48 minutes free for a consultation. Free. Not a single penny. Why 48 minutes? Because 47 would be stingy as hell. And 49, that's just showing off. 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security and investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. Tommy Mischke is a paid endorser.
The industrial pressure washers at American Pressure are called upon for an astounding array of duties. American Pressure just recently got a call because the escalators at the airport needed to be heavy-duty cleaned with sophisticated pressure washers. They had been unhappy out there with what they had used before, and they called American Pressure. They said, "Save the day, will you please?" If I had a nickel for every time American Pressure was called upon to save the day, either because a business's pressure washer was on the fritz or the old one just wasn't up to the job anymore, I would retire. There is so much subpar pressure washer work out there, so much that goes on that's just not up to snuff. So many people are doing sort of a good job with their pressure washers at their businesses. So it was with the airport escalators, until the geniuses stepped in with a customized approach that had not been used before. Talk to them. Let them save the day for you. They do it for a living at American Pressure. For a living.
Hello.
Al, it's Blow.
Hey, Blow, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I'm glad you called me back. Hey, I'm impressed with you. I really am. Anything I can do for you?
Next time you see someone in need on the street, maybe help them out.
Oh, like I think I mentioned this to you. Take care of the old timers and the kids.
Every
That's
now and then, a
big
guy
deal.
in need on the street's 37 years old, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If you can pick somebody up,
Twirl them
just in their head.
around. My old man used to walk the streets of New York.
Really?
He was unemployed back then. This was the 1960s.
You're one of the most interesting people I've talked to.
Thank you.
Can you hang on just for 1 second?
Sure.
I've got to pee.
I do too.
All right. Hello? Hello?
My old man used to walk the streets of New York, and he'd see people in tough shape, real tough shape, sometimes needing a handout, sometimes needing more. And he would pick them up. And he'd not only pick them up, sometimes he'd just twirl them there because what they really needed was human touch.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
he'd say, I don't have anything for you, but tell me when you're dizzy.
Well, I believe in I believe it more in the spiritual part of just taking care of somebody than anything else, really. And
those guys, when he'd set them down, they'd often stumble away,
mm-hmm.
and the police would pull up and grab them and accuse them of being drunk. But they weren't drunk. They were dizzy from being spun around, and it was just one more indication of how society misreads these folks.
Oh, absolutely. No question about that. No question about that.
You ever find yourself at night, 3, 4 in the morning, staring up at the ceiling, watching the car lights dance across the ceiling and saying, what's it all mean?
Every night. Every night. I've been doing this for the last couple of years, but if you can still get up the next morning and smile and laugh, then that's kind of a big deal. But if you can't, then that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with not doing that.
That reminds me of my grandpa's saying. His old saying was, if you can get up in the morning and get to the door and get out,
mm-hmm.
and if you can get downstairs and get to the kitchen area, if you can get out into the yard, and if you can get out, maybe
just walk around and smell the grass. Right?
Well, he wasn't done. It was an old saying he had. It might have rhymed, I don't know. And you can get down the road.
Uh-huh.
And if you can get maybe to another place, and from there, maybe even get a little further. And if after you get all the way there, you can get back. Not necessarily the same way, but just get back. And later on in the evening, say sundown, get into that bed again. Get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in there, get a meal. And if you can, at some point in your life, maybe get a hold of a decent magazine, a good book, or enjoy a television show, or say if you can get out to theater, live theater is kind of nice too, or if you can find yourself on a date with someone, or if you just like to maybe go unicycling in a park, or if you can find yourself maybe a hobby, perhaps astronomy. If you can do all that and still make sure you honor the food pyramid, you got nothing to complain about.
Well, it's great that you say something like that because, life is so sweet, and if something like that makes him happy, that's unbelievable. And
put us to sleep, of course, but it made him happy. I'm getting a call from my boss who says Blow Zephyr is due on the air right now, and I'm Blow Zephyr.
Call me back if you can.
I will, Al.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi, Al. It's Blow calling from the weather room.
How you doing?
Well, things are good here. Of course, we had an active evening tonight.
Well, I know. I was sitting here in Maple Grove out on my patio here.
I was at home, and all of a sudden the beeper went off, and I quick made the call, and they said, Blow Zephyr, you might want to get in here. We got something rolling in.
Really?
And I raced down, and of course we were up in the chopper in no time.
Uh-huh.
And we recorded the weather, documented what we needed to, and already have passed the information to the National Weather Service. And they have let us know that what we experienced tonight is a first in the upper Midwest.
Really? What was that now?
We have never had this confluence of ingredients in our atmosphere in the recorded history of weather in the upper Midwest.
Really? I'm real interested in this. You know, I've told you I went through all this crap, you know, and I'm very interested.
I want to tell you this. What we had tonight were mini tornadoes that never actually touched down. And what they were hundreds and hundreds of little tornadoes in the atmosphere.
And you look up in the sky.
And you could see them.
And you see them. I've been through that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been through that.
Hundreds and hundreds of little mini tornadoes all swirling around.
Really?
Creating almost the sensation of stardust around the heads of children.
I mean, did you get like a sunburst at the same time?
Oh, I'm sure there was that. But what also happened, there was a picnic at a place in St. Paul called Newell Park. And one of these little Dodgers came down and landed right smack in the middle of a picnic.
Really?
But again, we're talking about a tornado whose size would be about 1.5 feet high, and the width maybe 8 inches.
Really? Okay.
And all that was destroyed were 3 bags of chips. No one got hurt, and that thing was back airborne in minutes.
You're kidding.
No, that was just another unusual day in the upper Midwest, and now you know why weathermen from all over the United States want to work here, because you cannot get this phenomenon anywhere else.
Back in '66, I can remember, and this was probably the prettiest and neatest looking thing I've ever seen, was the clouds go through, the sun's on the other side, and I looked up, and I've got like 3 of these babies up there spinning around.
Tornadoes?
Yeah, and they go from like blue to purple to blue because of the sun. It's absolutely incredible.
They figured out years ago, and you may be familiar with this, that the science involved in the changing colors of tornadoes could be duplicated in what became a fad in the late 70s, mood rings. Are you familiar with mood rings?
Yeah, not in the late 70s. No, I'm
Mood rings were rings that changed colors. The science of that was learned from the changing colors of the chameleon tornado, which is the actual name for the tornado you're speaking of. A chameleon tornado, very different from a traditional tornado.
Right.
And when a chameleon tornado becomes an F5, which is the strongest tornado, you can
You're telling me stuff that I never knew, but boy, I tell you what, I hope we can share some information.
Yeah, well, what you get at that point is colors that actually are not known to the rainbow. You're getting just a little window, a brief window, into what's waiting beyond this world.
Really?
And that the tornado is bringing that to us, what is generally considered to be a monstrous thing, bringing nothing but death. The fact that a tornado is bringing that makes us wonder whether this messenger has been read wrong all these years.
Well, you know, I told you I was spiritual.
But do you view these as little angels? Because I think what was going on tonight with the hundreds of tornadoes we had in the atmosphere swirling around, some of them landing at picnics, that sort of thing, I think what we had were little angels.
Well, you know, you never know. You never know. And like I said, I'm spiritual. I'm really spiritual. I believe in the man upstairs. But I'm also a reality person, too, very much reality.
Tonight, well, I got science to back this up. I mean, I'm not.
I believe you.
I'm not out there in New Age land. I mean, I can back this up with numbers.
You're preaching to the choir. I believe you 100%, you know. God, I love talking to you. I'm so glad you talked to me. And this is God's truth. I'm a historian.
And a spiritual man. Spiritual historian.
Well, I am on the historical societies for both Osseo and Maple Grove, and I really follow this stuff closely.
You know what you ought to do is get on the board of the National Weather Service with a lot of the information you have.
Well, you know, I don't know. You know, I like... Well, maybe I should. I don't know.
I think you should. We could use another knowledgeable force on there because a lot of the folks...
You need a voiceover guy? Everybody keeps telling me I should be a voiceover guy.
Either that or an insurance man. But there are some people on this board who don't know a thing about the weather. I went up to a fellow who's on the board of the National Weather Service.
God, I love talking to you.
Thank you. Sure. National Weather Service. I go up to this fellow and I say, listen, I heard you give your little speech tonight. Do you even know what the material is inside a thermometer? And he said, you're damn right I do. It's cobalt. I said, it's not cobalt. It's mercury. I said, what are you doing on this board? That's Meteorology 101 right there. And that SOB thought it was cobalt. I followed up.
Cobalt?
Cobalt.
How the hell could it be cobalt?
Well, that's what I told him. I ended up talking to his mother, who he still lived with. This guy didn't go to meteorology school. He's a floor tile salesman.
Well, I tell you what, you're such a pleasure to talk to. You really are, and I'm not.
That's kind of you. That's kind of you.
Well, no, but it's fun to talk to somebody that's knowledgeable and has an opinion. You know,
Sure.
I'm not a crackpot or anything like that. I'm a person that really believes in what I'm telling you. I got an A in biology for bringing all my pictures in from the tornado that went through in 65.
Let me tell you my school record. You're going to find this hard to believe. Flunked algebra.
Oh, that's
flunked astronomy.
Oh, I almost flunked that myself.
Flunked social studies.
Really?
The only thing I ever excelled in, and that's why I became a meteorologist, was the debate team.
Really? Where'd you go to school?
I went to school at a little tiny college in Tonga. How about yourself?
I went to St. John's University from 66 to 70.
They had some tornadoes up there then, I think.
I don't remember those.
Well, it was the little ones, and they're always, the thing is the trees hide them.
No, that's true.
They had a tornado in Frank Hall. Do you remember Frank Hall?
Of course.
They had a tornado in there that got in. And
a tornado in Frank Hall?
Got into the hall.
How did it get into the hall?
In this particular instance, it wasn't one of the larger ones. It wasn't even an F1. These little ones are classified in fractions. This thing was in the hallway.
You're kidding.
Two people saw it, and then it was out again. It's just a flash. You ever hear of ball lightning? Ball lightning.
I've heard of that.
Ball lightning moves that way.
It
was scientifically proven. Well, this SOB was in Frank Hall. After the thing left, you know how old and dusty a lot of those dorms up at St. John's are? Mm-hmm. After that SOB left, that hall never looked so good.
Well, but I mean, are you sure they're not just little whirlwinds and stuff?
Well, what you're calling a whirlwind. I mean, let's face it.
I've seen whirlwinds.
We can come up with different names. We can call these things different names. Sometimes you have someone who says, "Hey, that's a dust devil." What I'm saying is the science behind it's the same. It's a little tornado.
Oh, that's true. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I
just
believe
a little.
it.
This thing that came down, for instance, and ruined this picnic this evening. Well, didn't ruin it, but some kids didn't get the chips they were promised. That was not something you were going to see on The Wizard of Oz, or that's not something that was going to make National Geographic. But the science behind it is a twister, as sure as the science behind what makes up a human being is the same in a midget or dwarf.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree. And I never looked at it this way before. But Oh God! I'm so glad I've talked to you.
No, I'm glad you called because the guys around here won't even listen to me.
You're kidding?
No, they're all busy looking at Dopplers and that crap.
Well, I was going to ask you actually a little about the Dopplers. There, back in the old days, we just kind of waited until it went by, and if you were lucky enough to be alive, then you were fine, And I told you I went through 4 of them, and that's absolute truth. I went through 4 tornadoes.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I'm whipping something up in the lab, and this is going to interest you. You know how you can create tornadoes in the laboratory?
In a little glass of water or something.
Right.
Even.
Well, yeah, in this particular case, it's in a mason jar, but there's no liquid in it.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm able to do that because I have access to ingredients the average person isn't going to. And I'm going to be playing with that tomorrow night. I thought what I might do is call you tomorrow night when I have the thing spinning and let you know what I'm able to do with it.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
In the meantime, I'm getting called by my boss. The little light's going on here.
No, I understand. Will you call me back tonight?
Tonight if I can. Sure will. Okay.
You got my number?
Let me check. Yep, I got it.
Please call me for sure. I love talking.
Okay, I'll call you back.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye. The autumn air is crisp. Golden sunlight spills through the branches, dusting everything in warmth. You mount your e-bike that you just purchased from EcoFun Motorsports. One gentle push and it hums, soft, powerful, alive. You ride down streets lined with fiery maples. You're grateful you finally took Mischke up on his recommendation. You went to EcoFun Motorsports. You took advantage of their e-bike sale. Now every pedal is effortless. Every hill is but a whisper. The motor helps when you need it, lets you glide when you want to, and you pedal when you feel like it, and suddenly the world opens up all around you. You never felt so light, so free, so in rhythm with the season. The breeze kisses your face, carrying the faint smell of earth and wood smoke. You're alive. You realize the world is moving with you, each leaf a note in the song of autumn, and you on your e-bike, wanting to go all day because you're not breaking a sweat and because all you feel is joy. The e-bike sale at EcoFun Motorsports in Burnsville and Forest Lake. Now is your time. For more than a century, that's right, since 1918, MSP, Minneapolis-St. Paul Plumbing, Heating, and Air, has been keeping homes comfortable, safe, healthy. And today, if there's one thing that affects your family unlike anything else, it's the air you breathe. Did you know the air inside your home can be more polluted than the air outside your home? Dust, allergens, bacteria, even viruses can circulate through your HVAC system every day. That's where MSP comes in. From whole home air purification systems to duct cleaning and humidity control, MSP has comprehensive solutions designed to give you one thing above all: cleaner, healthier air. Air that protects your family, helps everyone breathe easier, and makes your home a place you can truly feel safe. MSP knows how to make your indoor air as clean as it can possibly be. Do not wait. Call MSP today. Breathe better tomorrow. MSP. Care for the air you share.
Hello.
Al, it's Blow Zephyr.
Hey, thanks for calling back.
Sure.
Just to kibitz, unless you got stuff to do.
No, go ahead.
No. Thanks for calling back. Sure. Just to kibitz. I'm on the radio. I don't want to be on the radio.
Oh, all right. Let me do something about that here.
I'm on the radio. I don't want to be on the radio.
Uh-oh.
Oh, all right. Let me.
Bail out. Bail out.
Hello.
I think we got her cleared now. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Did
I'm
you
sorry.
want me on the radio?
No, I don't. I didn't even know I had a radio show. Go ahead.
Well, you're a good man for calling back, though.
I appreciate that.
Just talking about the tornadoes again. That's and the weather.
Earlier tonight, I had a weather phenomenon story come across the wire from Kansas. Fella working in his garden, putting in petunias. All of a sudden, he notices everything going green. And you know, we've talked about everything going green.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next thing you know, the hairpin his wife was using.
Talked about everything going green.
What the hell is that in the background?
We're still on the radio.
Oh, what the hell's going on? How are we on the radio?
What the hell is that in the background?
Hold it a minute.
Hey, that's okay. I'll be on the radio. I don't care.
Oh, good.
No, that's fine.
How are we even on the radio?
I'm not sure, but that's okay.
Do you remember some of the great storms from Collegeville?
The great storms?
Yeah, there were some great ones up that way.
No, that I don't remember.
There is an odd weather vortex in Collegeville.
God, you really are. You're sharp. You know your stuff.
I actually spent some time studying it up there because
Really?
we had a weather outlet at...
I hope you keep talking to me. God, I love talking to you.
Well, happy to talk with you. We had a weather outlet at St. Cloud State. There's a meteorology
No, I know.
department there, and what we'd do is drive up to Collegeville with our gadgets, our meters, our gauges, and what we found was a phenomenon up that way, not terribly different than what was reported in Guam in the 1940s. And what happens is there is a wall.
Would you hit a dip spot or something?
Very, very much a dip spot. And there is a wall of barometric pressure surrounding Collegeville that isolates and holds storms in place for as long as 7 to 8 days at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
This is why I love talking to you, because I learn stuff all the time.
We recorded the other day a straight line wind in Collegeville.
Uh-huh. You're kidding.
That hit 400 miles per hour.
You're kidding.
Which is a record.
Well, the last straight line wind that I was involved with was the one that blew down everybody's houses in Maple Grove, and I was the insurance agent trying to take care of everybody's problems, you know.
You know, in the Dakotas, they have what are called squiggly winds, which are very different from straight line winds. They don't seem to follow any sort of pattern at all. It is as though a 5-year-old were scribbling on a piece of paper.
Really?
And these squiggly winds can come through, and depending on the pattern, can move through a town where the only thing destroyed will be an outhouse in a guy's backyard, and the rest of the town is saved. Meanwhile, the next town over,
gets blown away.
The outhouse is the only thing that's saved, and everything else is leveled.
God, you know, God, I love talking to you. I just see this stuff means a lot to me because I went through all these tornadoes and stuff. And I can tell you stories that you wouldn't believe. And yeah, you know that.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you, I took a trip up to North Dakota after the last squiggly wind went through. And, of course, it left exactly what I said. In one case, it took out just the outhouse. In the other town, the outhouse was the only thing standing.
Mm-hmm.
I went up there and talked to the mayors of both towns. We got together at a little coffee shop called the Coffee Talk Cafe.
Okay.
And I said, you know what you want to do here? There's a outhouse sitting by itself about 80 miles from here. Meanwhile, there's a town that just lost an outhouse.
Oh,
and what they ended up doing was bringing the outhouse to the town that had lost the outhouse.
Really?
Everybody was happy. Win-win for everybody.
Hey, well, you laugh and you go away, you know.
Well,
that's the way, you know. But you know, I Blow, you know, I talked to Mr. Dahl a couple of days ago, and I obviously I'm talking to you too. But I keep telling him, hey, listen, tornado comes. Hey, look at it. Here it is. Just kind of just get out of the way, you know. And I know you can't get your house out of the way, but you can get out of the way yourself. I mean, God, it ain't that big a deal.
Is Dave Dahl?
I've been through 4 of them.
Yeah. Is Dave Dahl a believer in getting out of the way?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's not. I've talked to him in the past, and he does not believe in getting out of the way. You know, Dave is the dean of meteorologists here in the Twin Cities, and I don't mind telling you, there's a little bit of professional jealousy with the rest.
I know.
And his forecasting abilities are second to none. I'll give him that. But when it comes
to forecast, you know, these temperatures you get every day, highs and lows.
Yeah.
That's so much crap. I can't even believe it.
In fact, I told him that the other day, and I said, you know, Dave, when it comes to tornadoes, I don't think you top my abilities at all. And if you look at some of the grades I got in meteorology school in Madison, Wisconsin, before I moved to Tonga, you'll see that...
You're from Tonga in Africa?
Originally from Tonga, and then I spent my formative years in Antarctica, where my dad was...
in Antarctica? You've got to be kidding. I didn't know. You didn't tell me that before.
Yeah, my dad was...
I love Antarctica. That's a fantastic place to go.
He was running, what are they called, one of those places that sells scented candles and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, we got back here, and I wanted to be in Tornado Alley. Ever since I was a boy, I wanted to work in Tornado Alley. And I started applying for jobs in the Texas Panhandle, went up through Oklahoma and Kansas,
when I get my bill
Nebraska.
When I get my bill from Right Hennepin,
southern Minnesota.
When I get my bill from Right Hennepin, they have a little tornado just going through the middle of the bill.
Well, remember I told you that I was going to bring in the ingredients for a tornado?
Yeah.
I got one sitting on my desk right now.
Really?
12-inch high. Remember I told you you can.
You can make a whirlwind or something.
Well, this is a tornado. It's actually identical to what came through a few years back. The tornado featured in the KARE 11 footage. It's a replica. I even made sure that it moved the same way that one did, and I've got a little kind of a fake chopper hanging from a string with a little cameraman in it. And I can push that chopper right into the little tornado, and boom, that chopper is knocked against the wall.
You can't adjust a chopper to something like that.
They told me when I brought this in tonight, they say, you let that thing get away from you, it'll be the last time you make a tornado in the shop here.
God, you are seriously, you are the greatest. I love talking to you.
Well, thank you, Al.
No,
tell you what, I'm going to call you back because we're coming up on top of the hour. I got to give my report because apparently we got tornadic activity in the Yukon.
Can you call me back?
I'll call you right back.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Yeah, I'll Blow Zephyr.
Hey, Blow, how you doing?
Good. What are you doing tonight anyway?
I'm just sitting around. You know, I went through a divorce. Tough deal. And just sitting around doing nothing.
You mean ever since?
Yeah, ever since. It's one of those kind of deals, Blow. Can you hold on just for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I'm cracking open a Bud Light. Yeah.
Bet you put down a few of those since the divorce.
Well, you know, I did it right by everybody But, you know, I was married for 27 years.
What the hell happened? That's a good long time, you'd think, at that point.
Well, no, it's just one of those things where you don't get along, you know. If you don't get along, you know, back in the old days, and you know what I'm talking about, the old days, you know, you just went through it. Nowadays, hey, you get divorced, that's the way it is.
Let me tell you a little something about what happened with my wife and I. 34 years we were together, my wife and I.
Really?
34 years.
Really?
One day she wakes up, comes walking into my office. I got a home office. She says, "Can I speak to you a minute?" I said, "Go ahead." She tells me right then and there she's a lesbian.
Well, that I can't even respond to that one.
No. I said, "Are you telling me you were faking it all those years, honey?" She said, "What do I do for a living?" And then it hit me. She's an actress.
She's a what?
She was an actress in television commercials.
Yeah.
So when she says to me, "What do I do for a living?" what she was saying is, I've been acting for 34 years.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, listen.
I'll tell you something. There were a couple of nights where the acting would have outdone any genuine feeling from any other woman in America.
Really?
I guarantee you.
Oh, God. Do you have any kids?
We had 9.
God, you know, I feel for you. You know, it's you know, it's the pain that hurts.
Well, it hurt with every one of those 9, but fortunately it was just her
the pain. The after pain. Your
afterbirth, placenta.
No, your
my
pain.
pain. Well, my pain was in finding out that I can't tell an actress from a woman having a swell time.
Well, you know, Lo, you know, you just don't know. You know, and stuff happens. And
you know what's crazy? When she first said that to me, for half a second I thought of telling her I happen to be gay myself, just to get back at her.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But the kids were in the room, so I kept my mouth shut.
Well, I like I told you, I'm a psychology.
Well, and you understand.
So I know I know what happens
yeah.
on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I read
but it doesn't make any difference. You know, it still feels the hard parts. You know,
I wrote Dear Abby afterwards because I was trying to get some advice free.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh God!
I don't know if you're aware, but Abigail Van Buren used to live right here in the Twin Cities.
No, I know.
I just wrote and then hand delivered it. She was at 740 River Drive there.
Well, I don't know that.
That's where she lived, and we used to go over there periodically and drop off letters whenever we wanted advice. And I dropped off a letter, and her advice was that I should talk to my clergyman or family doctor.
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of friends that are clergymen, but, you know.
What do you think their advice would be at that moment?
You know, Blow, I can't, I don't know. I just, you know, this is the way I'd look at it. If that happened to me, I'd just say, hey, you know, what are you going to do?
That probably would have been the adult way to operate, but what we ended up doing, I just mentioned 9 kids overheard her little confession.
9 kids?
They were all there, and when she packed up the car and headed down the driveway...
you kidding?
There were 9 dozen eggs being sent her way.
Really?
Oh, all 9 egged the hell out of that Chevrolet.
Holy.
She didn't make it to the public highway without needing to have the whole damn thing hosed.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh,
God. I really feel for you. I have, you know, I'm just... I'm just totally open to what you're saying.
She ended up moving to a place that has what has to be the worst weather on planet Earth, though, so I don't feel so bad anymore. She's been in 2 typhoons, a cyclone. She's been in an earthquake. She's been in a forest fire. She's been in a flood.
That's really tough, but you know, but you still love her.
I love the actress, and I've even written her letters saying, "What's the going rate for actresses? I'll pay union."
Yeah, but you still love her anyway, regardless of what.
Well, it's similar to, I loved Cher in Mask, but I don't love Cher.
No,
I just love the woman she played. You know, she was the mother of the deformed boy.
No, I understand. I remember that movie.
Well, that's
Very
the
well.
same with my gal. I loved who she pretended to be. I love those phony nights under the sheets, 3 a.m., where she could
No.
put Meryl Streep to shame with some of her
No,
abilities. What was that?
No, I understand. I know what you're saying, but are you sure? Are you really sure that there's no love anymore?
I don't know. I stopped by her place back in the spring. She was dating 3 gals at once.
Really?
Conjoined in one case, so I guess 2 you would call it. One of them was conjoined, and one of them was just a regular gal.
I I don't know what to say here. I'm kind of.
Well, you've been through it. I mean, you've been through the same thing.
Divorce, yeah.
Well, that's the same thing.
Divorce was 27 years.
Sure, same thing. I'm sure she was a lesbian too, right? I mean, they're all lesbians.
She wasn't.
Oh.
And sometimes you get divorced just because you're divorced, you know.
I mean, that's why you got divorced, because you found out you were divorced?
You know, you never know.
Well, there's paperwork on that. You should be able to find out.
Well, no. We still talk and everything, you know, see.
What do you talk about?
Stuff, you know. When we got divorced, she lived with me for another year.
What the hell?
No.
Did you guys have...
Blow, you have no idea how unimaginative this really was. Craziest thing I've ever...
You guys have relations after you were divorced?
Pardon me?
Did you have relations?
No, that we didn't do. Still stayed in the same bed.
What?
I'm not kidding you. This
just
is
between
true.
you, me, and the fence post, middle of the night when she was sound asleep, passed out or something, did you ever just,
No.
I see. All right.
No, I didn't do that.
It's as though there was this invisible wall right down the center of that bed.
Well,
yeah. My wife and I actually built a wall at one point.
Really?
We actually built a wall. We called it the Great Wall, and it was not unlike what you see, China, Berlin, that sort of thing. But
I know.
We built it because I could not trust myself middle of the night.
Really?
So we built a wall, went right up to the ceiling, and then, because I realized I could always go upstairs and cut a hole in the floor and come down that way, I ended up running the wall straight through the second floor, too.
Really? Holy cow.
That's the story of that relationship.
Holy cow.
My wife got her pilot's license last year. She flew over our house in June.
She didn't drop pamphlets or anything.
Not pamphlets. What she dropped was some clothes of mine that she had inadvertently taken.
Uh-huh.
And they landed in the yard, and I went out to get them. And while I was scooping them up, I got hit in the back of the head by something really hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's this black box. You know the black box?
Yeah.
That's that whole deal that records all that's going on in a cockpit.
Well, how in the hell did you get that?
Well, what happened is that fell. She didn't mean to throw that. It was just like tossing a baby out with the bathwater. I took that thing into the house. It's a reel-to-reel deal. I set it up with a little program I had in there, and I listened to it. She had flown from the airport in Owatonna over our house, cursing me all the way. I had it all on tape.
What in the hell happened to make it that bad?
I shacked up with my boy's Cub Scout den mother, part of a merit badge deal that just went awry.
I understand.
So she got wind of that when my boy tried to use it to, earn his way. I don't know what the hell he was going for, Eagle Scout or something. Son of a gun has an eagle eye, I'll tell you what. Caught us in a motel, and anyway, word got passed to his mother. That's why I think maybe she's making up the whole lesbian thing, just as a way to get back at me, the same way I was going to tell her I was gay to get back at her. This merit badge program, I don't know if you've ever been in Scouts, but one of the things you're supposed to do is encourage people to be friends with one another, and if you can get 2 strangers to be friends, you get a certain number of points. My boy hadn't done the homework. It was the night before, and I said, well, why don't you introduce me to your den mother, and we'll say we're buddies. And it got a little more than just buddies, but I don't think it was anything that could have resulted in a little scout coming down the birth canal or anything like that.
No, I understand. I just wondering where you're coming from on all this,
Well, that's why I bury myself 16 hours a day in the weather room here, Al, because weather I understand. Weather knows me and I know weather. When I'm surrounded by my gauges and dials and my my little beakers and Bunsen burners and balling blasters and
Let me ask you a
buxom
question. Do we have any
babes.
bad weather coming?
Well, Thursday at 10:45, next Thursday at 10:45, there's going to be a 7-minute stretch of living hell.
Okay.
And that'll pass, and we'll have nice weather again.
Okay.
Boss is calling. He's on line 3. I better go. I'll call you back.
Thank you.
All right, Al.
Hello.
Hi, Al.
Who's this?
T.D. Mischke calling from KSTP.
Can you hold on just for 1 second?
Sure.
T.D. Mischke, you're kidding. How in the hell did I get a call from you?
Well, did you just say hang on a second?
Oh, I have to pee.
Go ahead, I'll wait.
Is this Blow?
No, it's T.D. Mischke, and I'd like to explain something to you when you get back from the biffy.
All right, hang on just 1 second. Hey, I'm back, and I love listening to your show.
Have you caught much of it?
No, quite honestly not. You know what I've been doing? I get a chance to talk to this guy named Blow, and he's a real nice man. He talks to me. And in fact, he even calls me back.
Al?
Yeah.
I'm Blow.
You're Blow. Well, when the hell did you tell me that?
I'm Blow and I'm T.D. Mischke. What I mean, Al, is, well, it goes like this. You called up one day last week, and I answered the phone on the air.
Yeah.
And you said that you were wanting to talk to the weather guy, and I was in the middle of my show, and I said I was the weather guy. But I was really just T.D. Mischke, a radio talk host.
No, I understand.
And I made up the name Blow Zephyr.
No, well, whatever.
But the guy you were talking to who was enjoying talking to you, that's me. That's the real me.
Well, I hope you enjoy talking to me. I love talking to you.
I actually got to really enjoying our conversations.
Well, we laughed. The whole thing is this is Tommy, right?
Yeah.
Tommy, the whole thing is you got to laugh. Can you hold on just for 1 second?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Tommy,
periodically you go away, I notice quite a bit. You leave me, you say just a minute, and you disappear. Where are you going all those times?
Went over and grabbed a beer to talk to you. Tommy, the key to life is that you get to laugh. That's the whole key to everything.
I'll tell you, I learned a lot about you. I learned a lot about your life and your struggles and the good times and the bad times and your great interest in history and in weather and specifically tornadic activity. I just thought, I've gotten to like this guy so much, I better tell him I'm not really Blow Zephyr.
Well, you had me fooled completely.
Well,
and
because
you still sound like Blow.
I mean,
No,
I am
serious.
Blow
this
hard.
was really fun,
We had some great conversations, and I might have stretched the truth on a few things I was saying about some of the tornadic activity I have experienced.
I don't know what I don't remember your story.
Well, I would try to make up tornado stories.
Yeah, stuff happens, you know. Stuff happens.
Well, let me introduce you to this old guy. He's an interesting fella. Fred, this is Al.
Well, hi, Al.
Hey, Fred, are you the same guy that calls him? Oh, Jesus. I can't even believe it.
Yes, Al.
Fred, I know you.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet Nancy? She does the news here.
Hi, Al.
Hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Are you sure you want to really talk to me?
Yeah, we're all here. Fred, Nancy,
Jeez,
I'm here. Al, you're there.
This
This
is the
is
greatest
what
night
you
I've
call
ever had.
a conference call.
Nancy,
Yes.
I live out in Maple Grove, and tell me what weather is going to be in Maple Grove.
Now, mind you, I'm not a meteorologist. I just read the
I
forecast.
understand. Hey, listen,
So most
God, I'm so excited that people are actually listening to what I'm saying.
So, Al, do you know any songs?
You mean like?
That you like to sing?
Can you hold? I'm sorry. Can you hold on just for 1 second?
He puts down those Bud Lights faster than you and I breathe. Either that or it's back to the Biffy.
I'm sorry. Dave.
How about Goodnight Irene? Do you know that one?
That's way older than me.
We don't really care when songs were written.
Let's do The Auctioneer.
Okay, start her out, Al.
Hey, now, give me five, $25 bid.
That's how she goes, eh?
Nancy, can you put that song on the radio?
FCC
No, I can't.
won't allow that.
I know Goodnight Irene.
Seems we all know Goodnight Irene.
I don't know Goodnight Irene, Mischke.
How do you not know that one? That's like saying you can't sing Happy Birthday to You.
How about I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle?
Is this Fred?
Yep.
Freddie, why are they still keeping you on the line? No offense. I love you. I
kept you on the line last week for 4 nights, Al.
I'm sure you guys got the auctioneer somewhere in there.
Let's see, we have the Gambler, we have the,
the Gambler,
Fornicator, we have the...
Don't we have the Pawn Shop Professional as well?
Yeah, and we also have a song here called The Insurance Agent. Nope, no auctioneer. We got the Yodeler. Tell you what, guys, I think we're going to end this way. I want us all to yodel in our own way. All 4 of us on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yodel lady, yodel lady,
Yodel lady, yodel lady, yodel lady.
Little old lady got mutilated late last night.
You are done.
And that's about gonna do it for this show. Thank you all for hanging out with me. We'll do it again real soon.